Gods and goddesses, welcome to the SMITE God reveal for Mulan, the Ascendant Warrior.
When the call to war came, I answered a simple choice, for it was no choice at all. For love's sake, I took their place. For duty's sake, I fought. I took up bow and blade as my father taught me. On behalf of my country, I fought. Now I must take up the sword once more. And for the sake of those I cherish, I must become something more.
Mulan's passive is Training Arc. Mulan utilizes a sword, spear, and bow with her abilities and can gain skill towards them by damaging enemy gods and minions. Her expertise in each weapon provides different bonuses as she reaches skilled, adept, and mastered levels. Mulan also gains a buff every 10 seconds that reduces the cooldown of her next non-ultimate ability used by 2 seconds. Mulan's first ability is Cross Strike. Mulan swings her sword with deadly precision, striking twice and dealing damage to all enemies hit. On reaching skilled with her sword, Mulan gains an attack speed increase after using Cross Strike. At adept, Mulan strikes a third time in a large cone. Finally, at mastered, Mulan gains a permanent attack speed buff. Mulan's second ability is Spear Thrust. Mulan brings forth her spear, striking in front of her, dealing damage and slowing all enemies hit. On reaching skilled with her spear, Mulan heals for up to 3 enemies hit. At adept, Mulan strikes with her spear a second time further in front of her, dealing bonus damage if she hits the same enemy twice. Finally, at mastered, Mulan gains a permanent power buff. Mulan's third ability is Grapple. Mulan readies herself and fires an arrow with a rope attached to it. If she hits an enemy god, she stuns them, dealing damage and pulling them toward her while dashing and hitting them again for extra damage. On reaching skilled with her bow, Mulan gains a protection buff after hitting an enemy god. At adept, Mulan is able to use this ability to grapple to walls. Finally, at mastered, Mulan gains a permanent movement speed buff. Mulan's ultimate ability is Divine Mastery. Mulan brings forth her entire arsenal, dashing forwards with sword slashes, dealing damage, and rooting enemies for ones. If she hits an enemy god during the dash, Mulan uses her new divine energy to knock up enemies with her spear before firing a large projectile attack with her bow. Dealing damage with any part of this ability gains skill towards the weapon used. Even as a new deity, Mulan must focus on sharpening her skills on the battlefield. Keeping the cooldown reduction from Training Arc in mind, Mulan focuses on which ability to use at the precise time to keep enemies threatened during battle. Mulan excels at close combat, so it is important to save Grapple for the ideal time. And if all else fails, descend on enemies with the mighty power of her divine mastery. Thanks for watching the SMITE God reveal for Mulan, the Ascendant Warrior.